just like, forget, it's us against everyone at the minute. Like, we've got to back the manager, back the team, wherever it takes us, like, you know. And,
I think the players, the interviews they did yesterday, the players are beginning to see about the stick we're getting, aren't they? Rice mentioned it, Arteta said it.
Yeah.
It's getting through to them.
If you're not celebrating getting into a semi-final of a Champions League,
I'll blame for that.
Go on.
I'll blame all your talk sport and all these pundits. 24/7, slagging Arsenal, slagging Arteta, slagging the team. I'm sick of it. This has got to be the worst season ever. And that's why I'm so drained, Lee, because it's just continuous crap, isn't it?
It's a big one, Lee. It's the big one.
Do you know what? I think, you know, as a player, if you was one of the Arsenal players or a fan, this is what we've been moaning and groaning about 8 years ago. Like, you know, I mean, we wanted these sort of games, like, you know what I mean. So we've got to really go up there and enhance that attitude. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Invincible podcast. I have, of course, the two main men here, like, you know what I mean, Chris. And he wants to be called Smarty now, like,
wants
you know what I mean? Because he feels he's got his Smarty Marty back because he predicted a 0-0 draw yesterday. We're going to go back in time, unfortunately, to Saturday. We're to talk about Sporting, and then we'll get back into the game against Manchester City on Sunday. But listen, before I do that, I've got to bring some sad news to everybody. Like, you know. Listen, my mate Adrian, if you remember about a year ago, come and done a show on the Invincibles, and he was diagnosed with cancer.
We got Lee in the building, and Lee's brought along his mate today. Adrian is in the building, right? And I'll tell you.
Unfortunately, yesterday he was told the news that there's nothing more he can do for him. It's got progressively worse after a year of battling against it and all that. And unfortunately, yesterday was told the sad news that he's probably only got 2 months left to live. So we're all obviously a little bit down. And obviously I want to say, like, thoughts and that with Adrian, and thanks for all the support for everybody in the chat for Adrian over the past year. Speaking to him this morning, obviously, like, you know, after that horrendous news and all that, like, you know, and he did say one of the things, boys, you know what I mean, like, please Arsenal, go and win the league, like, you know what I mean, and because he's, you know, like, never going to see it again, like, you know what I mean, so hopefully, like, you know what I mean, the Arsenal team can give him a lift for the last couple of months of his life and see if we can get through. So, so sad day for me. Been very upset over the last 24 hours since I found out the news. And he is a fighter, and he's fought to the end, and you know, has given it his best shot, and so much admiration for him to do it, like, you know what I mean. So I know he's going to be watching. So big up to you, Adrian, like, you know, and we're still with you, and let's hope Arsenal can go and win the league.
Let's hope so.
You know, and make him an happy fella at the end. Got to go back, to Saturday. Depressing.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, first and foremost, I'm really sorry to hear that, and, you know, thoughts and prayers go out to him, and it goes to show, you know, live every moment in life to its fullest, and appreciate what you've got, and every day you wake up, it's a blessing, right? That's why they call it a present. So, really sad news, and sorry to hear that. So, Saturday as well, not good.
Right, weren't. What was your worrying? Well, I know, like, listen, results can happen, can't they? Poor performances, poor results can happen a lot. But what is it? Because I actually feel, right, I don't know how you guys feel about this. Like, yesterday I was I wasn't down, like, you know what I mean? But it was just like, oh well, we won the game and move on. It weren't no really game, it weren't no, honestly, in the stadium emptied pretty quickly, like, yesterday, and it weren't everybody celebrating and going mad and all that. It was just sort of like, oh yeah, we're through to the next round. Do you think there was, Saturday, everybody was going into that game yesterday, and that because of Saturday as well, the reaction of how it was?
I think Well, going back to Saturday, I don't think that's the worst I've felt since we lost to Birmingham in the League Cup final. You know?
Wow.
And it wasn't about 90 minutes, Lee, Saturday. It was about 6 years of trust the process. So I've turned up at the stadium, sun's out, I'm buzzing. We are going to go 12 points clear here. And then they put that in front of me. And I'll tell you, knocked the stuffing out of me, Lee. I couldn't, when I got home, I couldn't speak. And I was so pissed off.
I know, it ruined my weekend, I've got to say.
And then I went into last night, totally emotionless. Do you know what I mean? I just sat there.
I was the same.
I was just flat as a pancake.
Yeah.
But in saying that, it's not a bad performance last night. And one thing about these players, they are putting their bodies on the line, you know.
Yeah, I've got no doubt
telling you
about
that now. There's a lot of them, in the red zone.
Yeah.
And, they deserve all the applause. And I'm just hoping on Sunday we can get, a couple of fresh faces in the team.
Yeah. What's your emotions going into the game, Marty?
Well, Saturday.
You was upbeat, always doing the thing.
Always generally am. Listen, I really enjoy watching football. I love going to football. I love the club. I love everything about Arsenal. And, it's kind of, for me, when I watch football, it's 90 minutes away from life and I indulge and I get engrossed in it. And it was a disappointing, very, very disappointing performance. One of the worst I've seen. Look, again, it goes down to this controlling football. I understand it and I get it. And, let's take last night. It's a perfect example of how to win a game of football by not winning it, in that game. And when it works like that, brilliant. And if you're going to do that, you've got to get it right. But then also at the same time, listen, like you said, Real Madrid played fantastically. They're out the Champions League. Barcelona played fantastically. They're out the Champions League. We saw Man City go toe-to-toe with Real Madrid. They're out the Champions League. That is, what football is. And I said it, if Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola or Diego Simeone turned up with that performance last night, it'd be a masterclass. And then, I've heard people when I've said that, and that's the truth, but because it's Mikel Arteta, it's boring, it's contrived, it's controlled. And then when you say that, it's like, comparing him to managers that have actually won something. No, the point I'm getting at with it is the style of football. It does win. Defences win you leagues and titles. Attacks will win you games, yeah. That game, we didn't need to go all out. You need to control the game.
100%.
You don't need to. That doesn't need to be a box-to-box game, right? For one, because you start redlining, gassing players. You don't need to go to extra time because that's the worst thing you could have. Imagine an extra 30 minutes. Listen, it'd be great to watch it. It's essentially free football. You're not paying for in a way. But going to the Etihad on Sunday after having extra time and maybe penalties, and listen, if we went out of that as well, what I look at is we're in a semi-final of the Champions League now. I remember going out in a round of 16. I remember not being in the Champions League. And then, going out in the quarterfinals, and then last season we're in a semi-final. I do understand it was quite understated. I think what it is maybe there's an air of expectation with Arsenal. It's like, I kind of looked at this last night. I was like, this time last year, obviously the reverse fixture, but I remember the Real Madrid game. Before that, the hype and it was like we're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League against Real Madrid outside. I remember the roundabout outside the stadium before the game was nuts. The coach come in and the stadium, the atmosphere, it was crazy. It's one of the best games I've probably been to at the Emirates, right? But that last night, listen, the atmosphere I thought was good. I thought the fans got up where I was. The fans were going for it, and it was loud. The light show, the fireworks show, the tifo, all of that. But there's like we're through to the next round. We're in the semi-finals. There's an area which one. Okay, it's 2 points that I think. Maybe an arrogance which could be bad of like, yeah, that's what we expect, and the greediness of like, we should be there. That we're Arsenal, but then also. There's kind of the second part of it. It's like, yeah, well, we should be there. So there's no, it was like almost, I didn't feel really any nerves last night. It was like at the end of the game when Sporting kind of tried to go for it, it's still like, yeah, you're not getting through us. I've watched games at the end where we've been a bit nervy, like when we conceded to Sunderland and when we conceded to Wolves, where we looked nervy at the end. That, I don't think, for me, there was no nerves. It was just like, listen, we're going to see this game out. Neither team is going to score. We could play this game for another 90 minutes or another 180 minutes. no one's scoring. It's a deadlock.
There's a difference to Arsenal in Europe than the Arsenal you watch in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Where we're so much in control and we're more relaxed in Europe, aren't we?
Yeah, like what I would say about it, I don't know how you two feel about this, like, you know, I felt the game yesterday, the one thing that I've come away from the game on Saturday, like, furious about, whatever you're like, but the main thing that I was questioning was our mentality, if we get the heads right. But I thought yesterday that proved to me that our mentality is strong, because we played the game with our heads, if you know what I mean. Like, we knew we didn't have to go forward and go mad. We didn't have to have the pressure of the crowd and whatever, like, you know. So we played it how it was, and as you said quite rightly there, I don't think they give us too much trouble. But if we'd have gone gun-ho in the last few minutes and whatever and left ourselves open, it could have, and that's what they wanted to do. They was going like, you know, you come out and we'll counter-attack you. And we was going, no. You've got to come and score here. Yeah. Like, so we're going to come here and defend. We're just going to do our thing. And I think, like, you know, people are trying to mock Arsenal for not being entertaining and all that. It was never about. If we'd have gone out yesterday and on 3-4,
we'd have been slaughtered.
We'd have been slaughtered. It was the best game of the season. We'd have been slaughtered. So at the end of the day, I think we've got to. As I said yesterday, like, then I said, like, you've got to get the wagons round now, and it's just like, forget, it's us against everyone at the minute. Like, we've got to back the manager, back the team, wherever it takes us, like, you know. And,
you know, I think the players, you know, the interviews they did yesterday, the players are beginning to see about the stick we're getting, aren't they? Rice mentioned it, Arteta said it.
Yeah.
It's getting through to them.
I think as well, for me, this is an opinion that I had, and I remember watching this, and it kind of, I was watching that game and we kind of gave them a bit of a run around. And the reason, what I mean by that, is the amount of times I see the ball moved out to the right-hand side, then it would get moved back into left-hand side, back into the middle, Zubimendi would put his foot on, and then we'd make out like we're going to attack them, and the ball would then get recycled and put back to, like, Gabriel. He'd move it to Saliba. And basically throughout the whole game, so what you're doing is shifting. Sporting Lisbon have to come and try and press us, but then we're going on the attack. So then they get into a defensive shape, and you're constantly moving that team around. Now, for us, we're just moving the ball around. We're not going end to end, driving and box crashing, and you know where your whole team is in transition constantly. We're moving the ball around at like a training ground pace, which is perfect. But they didn't know whether they were coming or going. Now, if you get that wrong, it can look like you're not in control of the game. Or if you sit too deep when you're defensive, then you allow teams to come onto you and pressure you and press you. And if you're press resistant, then you can get out and you can hit them on the counter. So for me, the momentum of that game was perfect because I just felt we were in complete control of it. Even early on in that game, it was we started quickly, I found, and then Sporting had a break on us and they came and they hit the post. And that was when I saw a switch in an Arteta, and I see him because I sit right by him like you do, and I see him and he called, and it's just like control the game. And then it was like, look, we could get caught here. We don't need to go and go
exactly that.
Especially when you're playing the ball out with Gyökeres and he's not holding it up.
Because also you leave space in behind.
That's the problem. We're going to talk about that. Like, you know what I mean? I do feel that we look, listen. At the end of the day, we're getting all the criticism. And the team that should be criticised is them, because like they didn't really come and give us a go. Like, they didn't go for it, did they? Like, you know what I mean? I thought that, you know, they're in a quarterfinals of the Champions League. You know what I mean? They've done well to get there. Might as well go out guns blazing, but they didn't. They just sort of thought, like, oh, we'll see it through and all that. Like, you know, I just want to pick up on a couple of things like that have been getting me down a little bit. Like, you know, like going back to Saturday, right? You mentioned it today. No. You mentioned it today with the fans and all that. I think the fans are being blamed for a lot, like, you know, like
rubbish.
Poor atmosphere on Saturday.
Right.
It weren't a poor atmosphere on Saturday. We're putting the team under pressure. No, we never put them under one bit of pressure. And I thought yesterday, like, listen, for me, I'm still down going into that game yesterday. Like, you know, I'll get there early and all that. I'm fed up with people telling me what to do. Like, at this moment in time, get there early, get this, get that. I support my team how I want to, and whatever. And I always behind the team and for 90 minutes. But I get it all. Like, but I don't think we've been putting pressure on these players and all that. Like, I think it was a bit disrespect coming into it.
Do you know what, Lee? You say a really good thing, because last night after, I obviously did a fan cam, and for me, there was obviously, I celebrate, you know, we go in a semi-final of a Champions League, and I celebrated, and I was happy, and I was joyous. And do you know what? The amount of people that were like, well, you're going to get knocked out in the next round anyway. Oh, you're not going to win it. Oh, why are you celebrating? Oh, it's only the semi-final. I'm thinking, do you know what? We might as well not bother playing. I might as well not bother going to football. If I'm not, it's like you see. I guarantee you, if Tottenham won a game now, we're nowhere in that position. What, they're not going to celebrate winning a game? So what is the point in going to football if you're not celebrating getting into a semi-final of a Champions League?
Yeah, I'll blame for that.
Go on.
I'll blame all your talk sport and all these pundits, 24/7, slagging Arsenal off, slagging Arteta off, slagging the team. I'm sick of it. This has got to be the worst season ever. That's why I'm so drained, Lee, because it's just continuous crap, isn't it? Paul Scholes, you name it. Even Wrighty today says, I'm not too sure about Arsenal at the moment. Even Ian Wright.
Yeah, it's like, I have it. It's like, you know, people say it's idiots like this, which, you know, reason why people hate our fan base. I'm like, what, for celebrating getting into a semi-final of a Champions League? I said, you do understand this is the first time in our 140-year history we've ever done that. Like, back-to-back semi-finals of the Champions League. Like, I don't know what other people have been watching, or I swear some of these people have been watching football for the last year, and it just they started watching football last season and thought, oh, well, this is how far we got, so this is what's happened for our entire history. It hasn't. It hasn't. It's a big competition.
It's a big competition.
And I'll tell you what, that night, sorry to interrupt you, that night, that semi-final second leg at the Emirates, that's going to be absolutely mental.
Yeah. And the thing is, I don't know, it's because of what's going on and all that, like. But when you look at it, look at how many teams enter this competition. Look how many, we're unbeaten in it.
It's amazing.
We've done unbelievably well. And in the group stages, we've done. I think we've. I'm not having a go at Liverpool when I say this, because I thought they was unlucky last season. Liverpool went through the whole thing, winning every game, and then went knocked out straight away. But what we've done is we've done that side of it where there's no pressure, but the pressure then comes on the knockout stages, which you got and in those two games, yes, we should have won them. There's a pressure on that straight away, that, you've got to win. It ain't a 50-50 tie. We've been heavy favourites against the Germans and heavy favourites against the Portuguese, So there's a pressure that comes with that, but we've handled those two games, I think, really, really well. Went over to Bayer Leverkusen, got a draw there. And brought them back here and won. Went over to Lisbon, got the result back here, I think we've done things really, really well. It ain't been spectacular and all that, but I guarantee if Arsenal won 4, and it gets a little bit with Barcelona, if Arsenal would have won 4-3 at that, and that go, that's not, you can't win the Champions League by winning 4-3 and all that. Barcelona have been very, very heavily criticised for being too open.
Oh, no. Oh, apparently they're the best team. I've heard. Who was it? I heard on funny enough, TalkSport last night. So this is going. Oh well, he's going. Listen, you got the likes of Barcelona. They're not in the competition anymore. They're out. They're like no. But their attack. Listen, if you went up against their attack, do you know what? We're not going to go up against their attack because they're not in the competition anymore. It's last 2 games, 2 clean sheets. The only other team to do that is PSG in the quarters. And they're a good side.
They've done it against Liverpool, didn't they?
Yeah, twice. 2-0, 2-0.
But what do we think now? Obviously, the 2 semi-finals.
It's been a hard game, Lee.
It's going to be an hard game. First of all, PSG versus Bayern Munich.
I'm going Bayern.
You're going to go Bayern in that game? I'm going to stick with PSG.
I'll be honest with you. I'd rather face Bayern in the final. It's a one-off game. Listen, potentially we're going to be facing 2 teams that we've already beaten this season, and convincingly. And I know we did that to PSG last season. We in the group stages, and then we played them obviously in the semi-final twice. But in fact, you know what? The PSG, for me, I think, from what I see, they're one of those teams that can just really hurt you real quick. They're just a dangerous side. But I do fancy our chances. See that Arsenal team when we were October, the beginning of the season, we turn up and play like that, mate, we can beat anyone.
If you go back to that Madrid game, I'd say it's a poignant moment, and I know this. It was tight for a long while, like, you know what I mean, and then we scored. And as soon as we scored, right, Simone went and sat down. He was dictating everything like that. He knew that was it, you know what I mean, like. So it's not going to be as easy as that over the 2 legs, like, you know what I mean. And listen, one thing I'll say about Madrid, and I'll say this: they've done well, brilliant against Barcelona and all that. They've conceded 5 goals against Spurs over 2 legs. You know what I mean? They're not as defensively great as what you think they are. So they can be got at, and if they are going to be open against us, you know what I mean, that I think will suit us. It's an opportunity now, like, isn't it, to go through, Chris. Like, you've been following the Arsenal for a long while, like, you know what I mean. We haven't seen many of these semi-finals.
No, because our record in Europe for a big club like the Arsenal, I'm afraid to say,
it's not good.
Quite embarrassing. So, you know.
So what, you know, like, I think you made a great point also, Mike, there, that
Thanks, Steve.
No,
Thanks,
my
mate.
pleasure, my pleasure.
Oh.
That, like,
must be recognised here and there.
We haven't been in the semi-finals for a long while and all that. Like, there was at one stage, if we get to the quarter-finals, that's a great achievement and all that. Like, now we're at the semi-final, second year running. So hopefully we've picked up a little bit of experience from.
Well, that's one thing we have. That's one thing you can't have a go at Arteta about. He has learned. When it comes to Europe, he's on the ball, mate.
Yeah, and I think we're more suited. You said earlier on, I think we're more suited for the Champions League.
I'll be careful what I say. Is it the easiest thing to win?
And the thing is, like you said, right? We ain't lost.
I think so.
We ain't lost a game in this competition. Like, I know you can always, and then you get through this semi-final. It's one game, and it's who turns up on that day. And I tell you what, I remember the last final, which unfortunately we lost, and the only reason why we lost that was because Lehmann gets sent off. I'm sorry, that's the only reason. That's a goal kick. I don't think he conceded a goal in all of
all the bloody competition. Very similar way of going about for you.
Yes.
Know when we won in. Let's say we got to the final.
We didn't let a goal in.
Didn't let a goal in. But if you go back, quarter-finals was against Real Madrid.
Yep.
1-0 win. 1-0, 0-0 over here. Villarreal was 1-0 here, 0-0 over there. You know, and Arsenal at that time were a very entertaining sort of side, like. But that's how sometimes you have to get the job done. It's very, very similar to what we're doing now, like, you know. I look at it is strange. Like, a year ago, we was, as you say, we was all jumping off the walls because of we beat Real Madrid. Do you think that and everybody going mad was because we was second favourite? I think everybody fancied Madrid to win it. Where I felt that on this occasion against Sporting that we was the favourite, so there was a different mindset between us.
But remember last season we had a very depleted team, didn't we?
On this point as well, there was a fan, Ryan, he bet Robbie £1,000 that we would not go through, because, and he's an Arsenal fan, but it don't sound like it. This is how don't forget, I'll go back to that Real Madrid game. We were written off. All the pundits, everyone was like, there is no way you are getting past Real Madrid. Even when we was 3-0 up, Remontada, they're going to do it to you. Like,
and the Bernabeu.
And the difference is this season, I'll tell you what, when this goes understated, right? What Mikel Arteta has done, and it sounds, I know people go, oh, you're an Arteta sexual and all this rubbish, right? We play I hear it, honestly, I hear it and I laugh at it. Like, there's some real craftsmanship. We play with 4 centre-backs. The reason why we are defensively astute, this is a very planned thing. We're playing with 4 centre-backs. And when they're not 4 rigid centre-backs, you look at Sticks Mascara in last night, solid. That is shutting another side out and keeping a clean sheet again. The goalkeeper, the centre-back, the whole back 4. It's a very well-oiled machine. Then you've got 2 dynamic midfielders in front. And I thought, listen, Zubimendi, he was terrible. That is what you need from this guy. He puts his foot on the ball, takes the sting out of the game, and he moves the ball around side to side, back to front. Doesn't do anything crazy, just has complete and utter control. And Declan Rice, remember Gilberto Silva? He'd do a lot of work and he'd sort of go unnoticed. Last night, Declan Rice was just doing work. He was just doing his thing. and the ball just got moved around.
And can I put in a good word for Martinelli, by the way?
Yes.
Because he ran himself into he sacrificed his game for the team last night.
Yeah,
Really
and that's
did.
why he's got to start the next game on Sunday. Like, and I'm going to have to say also, a big Nketiah I thought was brilliant again.
He was.
I love him.
I've got to say, like, you know what I mean, he's tackling. If he has got, you know, like the cup final cost him because he got booked early on.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like the referee's going to have to play a big part in it on Sunday. But if he can do what he done yesterday, like, you know what I mean, like I think he can block off their wingers, and that's
Doku, wasn't it?
Yeah, Doku and Semenya.
No, he plays Semenya on that side. Like, so, you know, Semenya was good in the cup final, but I don't think he was spectacular. And I felt that, you know what I mean, that's with the booking. So I think, because I like what I like about Nketiah now is that he's very aggressive, gets in there. I thought he was aggressive from the word go, like not being nasty, just aggressive, getting there, working hard. I thought he done really well. But we're through, and at the end of the day, that's the best thing, isn't it?
And this is the thing with both of them. And then the other side, listen, during Timber, I hope he's fit. But if not, have I got a problem with Mosquera in right back? No, I haven't. This guy's quick. Like, he's a big sort of centre back, but this guy's like, I saw it last night. A guy got past him, and then he has this like turbo pace where he manages to get in front. We've seen it time and time again.
Oh, look, listen, he's done fantastically well. Like, and I'm going to have to say that I thought Ben White done okay against Doku in the cup final. But I think, like, you know, Mosquera for me. Right, let's get on to it. Here's the massive game now, Sunday.
It's the big one, Lee. It's the big one.
Do you know what?
Oh,
I think, you know, as a player, if you was one of the Arsenal players or a fan, this is what we've been moaning and groaning about 8 years ago. Like, you know, I mean, we wanted these sort of games, like, you know what I mean. So we've got to really go up there, enhance that attitude, Chris. You know what I mean? Like, this is. How do you see this game going? And what?
Well, I think it all depends who's fit, Lee. Basically. I know Mosquera's done well, but I'll be much happier to see Timber there. I want to see Timber, and I want to see Havertz leading the line, not Gyökeres. Because I can't have someone up front where the ball keeps bouncing, because you know what they're like. They'll be coming at waves.
That is a great point, and that's why I was going about Havertz. Is what we got to do is when the ball goes up to Gyökeres, realistically, he's not the guy. He wants to be on the turn fit. But the fact of the matter is, he's isolated, like, you know. So, for me, I'm with you on this. Havertz for the first 70 minutes, and if things are not going well, then chuck him on. But to win us the game, I think we've got to get control. When the ball goes up there, it's got to stick up there so our players can get on a little bit. Like, the only one thing that I may go against this for me playing. Because I'm with you on the Havertz thing as a hold up play and all that. They do play a very, very high line. As Havertz got the pace and power to get in behind where Gyökeres is. That's the thing that he's got to weigh up. And I do think with this game, Chris, that he's got to go in there with a surprise game plan. I don't know if you like. I don't
Jesus.
Yeah. Something different. So I think he's got to change personnel a little bit, change it a little bit. I would play Jesus up on the right hand side for this game. Like, if Saka's not fit.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I want to see, I don't want to see. I've said it, and I'm going to say it on this one as well. Like, you know what I mean? I keep repeating it. On Friday, I don't want to see him missing or him. I want to see if they're fit. If Odegaard's fit, Saka's fit, Timber's fit. Say it.
Don't come out of all that.
Come out and say, like, we're all back in training, we're up for it. Like, don't turn around and go, I'm not sure about him, not sure about him. Say it.
I know, but you just said you want to see something different and switch it up and surprise. And there is that element of surprise. If you lay all your cards on the table, you know you're letting your opponent know what they've got to face. Now, especially someone like Pep Guardiola, you want to keep everything.
You don't know if they're going to play Mark. Like, you know what I mean? If Odegaard's fit, you don't know if he's going to play him or is it? I like to see that.
Arteta knows. And to be honest, I get your chain of thought with that, but for me, I like the fact that he keeps all that behind closed doors. No one needs to know who's available, who's playing. It'd be nice to know. I'd love to know, but I don't want Pep Guardiola.
Anyway, when they're on the bloody train or on the hotel, people see him coming up and all that.
I do get that. But you know, Pep Guardiola, he will plan. We know he's a master at this, and he will.
That's why Arteta's got to go in and do something different, mate. I don't know what.
Yeah, something.
Personally, because I do think with what Chris is saying, you know what I mean. If he's getting, I want him to sort of go. Oh, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna play with, work out with Gyökeres in there, and all of a sudden it's Havertz. And I go back to the Community Shield a couple of years ago when Havertz played up there. He played up that game. When Trossard got the equaliser, we won on penalties. He didn't play it until 6 months later, but we looked good in that game with Havertz there. What are you doing?
I completely agree. I think Madueke, for me, he's had too many chances in that position. I thought he was poor, and I thought he was poor last night. I'm just a bit. Amount of times, there's a couple of times where he was just running. He had a man to beat, and I was like, just beat your man, but he didn't. He was like looking for someone to lay it off to, and I was just like, but. I like Jesus on the right hand side. If Saka's not fit, I'd put Jesus on the right hand side, and I'd put Havertz up top. And I'll tell you why is. Distribution-wise, David Raya, sometimes you can't always play it short, so you've got to go long. And Havertz, he's brilliant with his hold-up play. He's aerially, he's fantastic. And then later on in the game, Gyökeres loves to run into channels. Now, early on in the game, there's not always that space to get the ball in front of you or put through the side to run onto. And again, at the end of the game, when it's legs are tiring, a couple of great guys to bring off the bench, Dauman and Gyökeres, to change if you need to get a goal to chase the game. Or not necessarily chase the game, to get a goal. So that for me is going to be an option, and I'd like to see Eze with Havertz as well. Eze for me looked good. Against Bournemouth, I thought he was one of our better players.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought you could see what he's trying to do. He gets on the ball, he turns. He's one of those. He's probably one of the only players that can turn with the ball and receive it and transition the ball so quickly and so skillfully. He's going to fancy his chances against Man City because he's always done well against them. And this is a game where the progression from Bournemouth to last night, I thought he was good last night. Now, it's a player like this that we need.
Is he the key player for you now? So if Odegaard's fit, Odegaard's on the bench for me.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
So
Just quickly on that, before I forget. So, do you see what we're seeing with Declan Rice with the captaincy? I think what's happening with this is it's being teed up for next season. I wouldn't be surprised if next season that Declan Rice is named as our full-time captain, because obviously Saka not being there and Odegaard, obviously he's been shifted to the captain's armband. I think he is our natural leader and our natural captain, and that will now just sort of be broached in like that.
Two questions I'm going to ask. Saka, if he's fit, do you start him? Or is he one for the bench coming up?
I don't know, man.
You don't know. It's a big mystery with Saka, isn't it? We don't know. We still not had. No one knows what's going on with him. Don't they?
No one sort of said it. There's rumours
he's out for the season.
There is rumours that he's out for the season.
But then he shouldn't be going to the World Cup then.
Well, no, we won't be going to the World Cup if that's the case. I've also heard that there's a very strong possibility that he'll be in the squad for Sunday.
I don't think you just throw him in, but then who knows? Perhaps Arteta's playing the greatest card of all time. For all we know, Saka might be so fit.
He could be on fire in training. Yeah. Absolutely banging it left, right, and centre.
You're talking about a surprise. Have that.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I think that's what you could go and do. Have a surprise. Have Saka, and he comes back and he is fully fit. And that'd be very interesting if he does play. Does he be the captain, or would he still stick with Rice?
I think Rice. Marty's right. Rice is a captain now.
I think they've shoehorned him in. They're reassigning. What they'll do, I think they'll do it.
Because it's funny, because Gabriel had it a few games before that.
Yeah. I don't think Odegaard will be here next year anyway.
But I think he'll find in the summer we're reassigning the captaincy to Declan Rice, whether Odegaard's here or not. For me, he's the natural captain, he's the natural leader, he's captain of West Ham. It's a role he plays, he's a midfielder.
The only way that's going to happen is if Odegaard leaves, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because if you sort of start changing it, that never works. No. If you start changing
on the Declan Rice front, I mean, he is putting his body on the line. It's obvious. During the game, do you watch him? He's taking breathers. He's
he's not.
So he's going to do a whole season at Arsenal.
Yeah.
And to go straight into a World Cup, and then straight, not in a million years.
I'll tell you what, they're going to have to get someone in to cover that, and that's where Marino has been because I believe
massive miss.
That Marino would have played on Saturday, given Declan Rice. They could have even played yesterday.
Zubimendi wouldn't be worn out.
Yeah, and those two could have been given a little bit of
massive miss.
Do you know what though? Right, you say this about Zubimendi being worn out, and I said this, and I remember I said it on Starting 11 show. Zubimendi, he's being shattered, and Robbie was like, "No, he just had a terrible game against Bournemouth." But then last night he looked brand new. So
he looked good, but like Declan Rice does look like.
He's.
Yeah, he looks like, his corners yesterday weren't as great. Maybe it's taken a little bit out of him. I do physically think that he's not been quite at it the last few games. But there was rumours that it was because he weren't well. You know what I mean? Like, so I think like even Arteta said he was like,
throwing up,
and then all of a sudden like he's back and putting a performance like that. So if you're on your sick bed Tuesday and come out and produce a performance like that on Wednesday,
it's not bad going, is it?
It ain't bad going, is it?
It's one you can't. He is putting his body on the line all the time for us, mate.
Yeah, so like Declan Rice putting his body on the line, you can't dispute that as a captain and things like that. Listen, we're just going to have a little break, not a break, but just a little break in
I can't believe it.
because we've just been told the breaking news.
Wow.
As we're speaking now, and it's again sad news. Sorry to bring some more sad news.
This show's been a killer today, mate.
Yeah. Former Arsenal goalkeeper Alex Manninger has died at the age of 48 after a car crash, and his car was struck by a train. I can't believe it. Manninger made 64 appearances with Arsenal between 1997 and 2002, winning the Premier League and the FA Cup. Now, he done fantastically well.
In the double year.
Double year.
Coming in, replacing David Seaman at a real...
his greatest performance, West Ham in the FA Cup replay.
Unbelievable.
Mate.
So, listen, again, thoughts are with his family and friends at this terrible time. It's another one of the young Arsenal Wenger boys that that's passed away. Obviously we had it with Antonio Reyes, and now with Alex Manninger. That is a real kick that, isn't it? Like, I mean, before Manchester City. Listen, a lot of the audience, Chris, wouldn't have seen Alex play if.
Wonderful keeper.
Replacing David Seaman, who was in his pomp at that moment in time.
Yeah.
And done a bloody good job for Arsenal.
Did he? I'll tell you the other game he played, it was when Overmars scored the winning goal at Old Trafford.
Yes.
Manninger was still in goal for that.
Do you know what? He was. Well, I think we bought him from Salzburg, and he was one of those players that was picked out of absolutely nowhere, and to fill in for a goalkeeper like David Seaman.
We didn't. I remember at the time. I know you're going to laugh. People weren't that bothered about Seaman coming back. It's funny.
Yeah, it was. He was only a young kid when he came in there, made some brilliant saves for us, and I think because of what he done that season and all that, like he felt then that he wanted to go on.
I can't remember who he went to up the Arsenal.
Did he ever? He went to one of the big clubs, didn't he, and played? I'm pretty sure.
Someone out there and tell us. I can't remember. Let someone look it up.
Yeah, if someone can look us up too, but like that is
it's terrible, mate.
Terrible news. Like just before we go to Man City, like, you know what I mean. So I think he might have even had a little bit of a spell at Liverpool, didn't he? I think he went to Liverpool for a little while.
Do you know what? To fit, like I was saying, to fill in for a goalkeeper like David Seaman in that iconic year and play like that, and like you said, for fans to be like, oh, we didn't miss David Seaman. And the agility this guy had was unbelievable. He was a goalkeeper that could pull saves out of nowhere. Reflexes were unbelievable. And Yeah, and as well, filling those shoes of David Seaman and did it with consummate ease, and you know, was a huge, important part of that side. And that's so sad, and it just goes to show again, like I said, live every day to its fullest. His car was hit by a train, and
we had some clubs, by the way, like, you know what I mean. So went on Fluent Senior on loan, Espana on loan, Torino. Bologna didn't play for them, like Siena on loan. Red Bull Strasbourg, he played 16 games. Siena back to them. Then had 27 games at Juventus. So
Nice,
you know, yeah. So
may his soul rest in peace, mate.
yeah, 48 years of age. Again, no age.
do you know what I mean?
Unreal, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? So listen, we're going to have that. Obviously, like. Some sort of.
Do you know what for me, he made that orange goalkeeper jersey with the stars famous for me. Yeah, it was never really seen, but that was his shirt sort of thing, if you know what I mean. I always remember him wearing that shirt as opposed to Seaman would be the black one with the. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's really sad news. Really sad. Yeah, thoughts go out to his family and
so they'll probably have some sort of tribute now. Man, this is where Arsenal have got to go up there now and
mate.
You know, life's short, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? And you don't get opportunities. You've got to go up there and take these opportunities when you.
I don't think I'll be able to. Be careful what I say here. I don't really think I could handle Man City winning another title, though. And you know what winds me up? The rest of the football world wants them to win it.
I know, yeah. I can't believe a team that.
Even Man United.
Yeah, Man United and all that. I can't believe fans around the world. For whatever reason, want them to win. Like when they're going up against Liverpool, right? Particularly after the 115 charges now. Still, we know what they've done. We know what. Like, I wanted Liverpool to win it. Like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like I know no Liverpool fan wants us to win it. Like, you know what I mean? That we know what they've done. There's always going to, whatever happens at the end of it, is going to be tainted, in my opinion. You know, go up there and cheats don't prosper sort of thing. Like, go and beat them.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that, right? And I had this with just a Chelsea fan the other day. It's like there's a lot of teams. It's like there's this hate for Arsenal. It's like a Chelsea fan saying, "Oh, yeah, we've got more Premier Leagues than you." So you do understand that you've only got 6 league titles and we've got 13. Like that sometimes but also right now we are a very good side. We're in the Champions League. We're 6 points clear at the top of the league. It's like this hatred for Arsenal.
Because it's comfort blanket syndrome. Because they're so crap.
Yeah.
Just to make them feel a little bit better. A little bit we slag Arsenal off. So we're not. Chelsea at the much. I'll tell you where Chelsea are. They're next year's Tottenham.
Oh, I love it and all that because listen, you know, Chelsea fans, you know. Listen, I've got a lot of time for Rory, but he's on national radio on Talk Sport saying like,
slagging.
You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, going like, what will make my weekend even more special now is if my team Chelsea.
Oh, don't! That was so shame.
See, like, you know what I mean? You're saying that on national radio. Like, we've never been in that position to say that, like, you know what I mean? And listen, I've got a lot of respect for Rory and whatever, but that's just typical Chelsea. That is, like, you know what I mean? Like,
say you're next year's Tottenham.
Well, with that sort of attitude,
let's have a look at when you look at Tottenham, right?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
They wishful thinking, you know, wanting to lose to Man City that day, right? Well,
and do what Song said.
That's what Song said today. It was, you know what I mean? Like, he's not come out and denied it, said yes or no.
Did you miss that goal on purpose?
And he said he didn't. I'd rather not answer it. He said.
Wow.
But the fact of the matter is, if they'd have got into the Champions League that season. Right.
The whole issue was.
The whole issue might have been different. They might have got different players. All right, they went in the Europa League and they won the Europa League, like, you know. But they come with that, was it 17th in the league and all that, like. And look at them now. If they were to go down, the wishful thinking of it would be like that. You know what I mean? Like, if we'd have beaten Man City that day, this would never happen, like, you know what I mean? So, listen, and now Chelsea are wishing. You know what I mean? Like a Champions League spot. Listen, if they've been fortunate that Man United lost the other day, but if Man United would have beat them, You know what I mean? Like, there's a chance even that Everton. I'd love it if Everton can come through. Come through and
couple of points with that, right? I remember it was when they had Pochettino, right? And that is very much a situation. Be careful what you wish for, because at that time that was the best Tottenham side I've personally ever seen in my life. Potentially, apart from maybe the 1991 side.
I'll tell you what was a good Spurs team was the Birkinshaw one.
Yeah,
They had Hoddle, Hazard, Falco, all that. Like, they were a good team.
And then they got rid of him, and then they bought in, like, you know, a lot of Arsenal fans now, they're like, get rid of Arteta, which I understand that. But then there's also a huge risk that you get in a big name manager, like they were bringing in the likes of Mourinho, Conte's, guys that have done it, and look what happened. When they were under Poch, right, they were the best Tottenham I've had. They got to a Champions League final. They finished third in the league. They were threats. They were legit. That was, I think, the last time they actually beat us at the Emirates. And then they were like, I remember they got rid of him. Oh, we're getting rid of him because we want to move forward. Well, where do you think you're going? And the risk that they've took, and now look how that's paid off. Now in this situation now, about a month ago, we spoke about it. It was like, oh, Tottenham could go down. I kind of like, oh yeah, they're going to go down. I was thinking, they're not going to go. I don't think they're going to go down. Then it got to a point that this could really actually happen. But I was like, it won't. They're too big a club. Then when I watched that on Sunday against Sunderland, which is a tough game, and then when you see a player that's on 200 grand a week, or two of them, you had Richarlison slides in at the halfway line where he doesn't need to. All he needs to do is stand up. Then the ball comes in and Conor Gallagher runs around and runs away from him, leaves it, and the ball goes in, and before you know it, the defenders turn their back, which is just, we've seen Van Dijk do it this season. It calls you go, face it, just face it. You don't have to turn your back. Why? If the ball hits you, you want the ball to hit you. You want to get in the way of the ball. That's the idea. And they're 1-0 down. And I was thinking, do you know what? This lot could go down. Because after you see West Ham absolutely wipe the floor with Wolves on Friday night, which I didn't really want to watch. I'm pretty glad that it ended up being the right game of football. And then you see Nottingham Forest with a draw with Villa, and that was a good game. You know, Villa are a good side. Leeds took it to United, and that was a good game. They should have been 3-0 up. And you're looking at the sides in and around them.
They're the worst one.
And they are the worst one. And them players, you know that when they say, oh, there's not enough fight in that dog, and there's not enough dogs in that fight. Either way round, both of those sayings are true. There ain't enough dogs in there, and they ain't got enough fight in them.
And it's a massive game from on Saturday.
Yeah, it was the most informed team in the Premier League.
Yeah, Brighton are playing very, very well.
They are. They're second in the form table.
Danny Welbeck.
I think if they were to lose on I think that they probably will go down whether they win or not. But if they were to lose this game, I do think that they're in trouble.
If West Ham keep winning, bar one game,
they'll be all right, won't they?
And you know how football throws these things up. Imagine us going to West Ham, and we're playing the Champions League return leg or something. We put out a youth team.
I'd love it, wouldn't I? Yeah, I mean,
because you've already got it wrapped up. You've got it.
You can't have a go at us. You did it.
You've done it. You did. And that would have been the ultimate dream for me.
Imagine that, right? Let's a hypothetical. I know it's hypothetical. We go and beat City, and then City lose to Burnley. I know you're going to take on City lose to Burnley, and we beat Newcastle, right? And they lose to Brighton. And then it gets to the West Ham game, and like you say, you can feel the youth team.
Number one,
and it's done. It's done.
Selman.
Yeah. And he puts them all out.
We'll all be celebrating. We'll all be going like that when when we scored, like they did with that. Do you know when they was all doing the Bosman, weren't they? What they call it?
Some of them had Man City
what they call that thing
on.
that they do?
Behind you.
Yeah, they was doing all that. When they're 2-0 down, like you know what I mean? Like that would be the ultimate,
wouldn't it? Wrap up the league and then send them down. And then they've got to go to Chelsea. And then what, you think Chelsea ain't going to want to send them down?
Their last game's Everton.
Mate.
So wouldn't it be great if Everton won 3 points for Champions League, which could happen. So we're getting back to reality.
Just to cheer up this week's episode and a bit of
getting
banter
up
and fun
to the reality of it.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a massive game.
Yeah.
Sunday. Chris, what's your thoughts and what do you think the score is going to be?
I pray we get a result, Lee.
We need a result, don't we?
Whether it's a draw or a win. I don't think we need a win there.
No, I don't like it, you know what I mean? So,
Because
what are you going to
just-
go for? Draw 1-1?
Yeah, you got me out of jail there. I'll take that, mate.
So say that like that.
Yeah, like, do you know what? We just don't lose the game. One thing I will say, and I'm just going to throw it out there, just so, even if we do lose the game, right, it ain't over. You know that it could go to level. It could go to. I'm not saying that's the attitude that I would put into the players. I'm just saying really. And I suppose I'm preempting all the head losses and people losing them. Don't get me wrong. I'll be depressed if we lose the game, and I'm not going to be a happy bunny at all. But you know, there's still a lot of football to play. If we win it. I'm going to say we win it 2-1. I believe that we can do it, and that could just be absolute scenes.
I think
right?
if it was to go, we was to lose it, I'm with Marty. I'm not going to give up. And
No.
Do you know what I think would happen? I think it would go to the last game.
Yeah, and do you know,
Last kick
saying
of the
now,
game.
I'm with you a little bit, mate. I reckon 1-1 with 5 minutes to go. I think Manchester City might throw everything at it, like,
and then we can nick one.
And we could nick one. Like, it'd be very interesting how the game pans out.
Or do you remember? I know this is reminiscing, but that game you said at Old Trafford when we nicked it 1-0. I could see it going tight and then nicking it with a 1-0, and then
I don't care.
I don't care. Yeah, and that's it.
I think we've just got to come away from Manchester not losing. Like, you know,
Yes.
and if we've won the game, fantastic. If we haven't and we've drawn it, it ain't the end of the world, like, you know. So
They've got Burnley next week, haven't they? Before we play Newcastle.
yeah, so it's important we don't lose the game, like, you know what I mean.
I am actually genuinely like so excited for this game now.
This is where, for me, like Arteta, this is where you're going to have to become the man, you know what I mean, like, and the players.
Well,
go out there and do it.
It's a culmination of 6 years hard work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go and do it.
Do you know what? I struggle sleeping now. Look, you know what you said with the other games you do. I am actually literally.
Listen,
I can't wait for the game.
This is the crunch time. You know what I mean? Like Arsenal can go up there and virtually win win that game. You've virtually won the title. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got one hand on the
It's a
trophy.
massive opportunity for us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you don't get many opportunities in life, in football games, to go and win the title. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we've got that chance on
The
Sunday.
build up. I don't know about you, but I'm switching off from all the build up.
Yeah, I like. You know what I mean? Like, turn it, keep the noise out.
Hang on.
No talk sport.
No, I'm not having nothing.
Since he sat here on the sofa talking about it.
It's different. I don't mean because I'm amongst friends here. I don't mean I don't want to listen to talk sport slagging us off.
I'm with you. I ain't going to listen to none of it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy my Saturday.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah,
Really?
like, you know what I mean? And I'm going to enjoy my Saturday. Then Sunday, get up, travel up there, and
I'm jealous. I'd rather be going. Than watching it on the telly.
like, you know what I mean?
Because watching the telly is going to be unbearable.
Oh, I don't know. We're doing a massive watch party
Yeah, tell
in
us,
Box Park in Croydon. We've got a massive watch party. It's going to be absolutely insane. All the boys down there. We're going to be watching it.
Apparently it's a massive place.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, it's big. So yeah, it's a big place. Do you know what? I like the box parks. They're fantastic. You've got all the food outlets. They're a great place, great vibes in there. Really looking forward to it.
I'll be in the Gunners.
It's going to be.
I'll be in the Gunners pub.
Oh, really? Okay. And yeah, so we're gonna do the watch party there. So I think it's me, Christian, Laurie, and LV will be down there, and it's gonna be nuts. Absolutely crazy, and I cannot wait for this game. You know, I'm already excited about it now. That I'm going to struggle like sleeping. It's one of them. It's such
There
an
you go.
exciting
So
game.
if you can get yourself down to Box Park, the Gunners pub, any pub around here, by the way, the Blackstock, Tollington, get yourselves around there because there'll be fantastic atmospheres around there. And if you're obviously going to the game, let's give it everything we've got and see if we can get the Arsenal over the line. Now, we've come to the end of the podcast. Just before we go, I just want to say, condolences to Alex Manninger and family and friends and everything like that, you know, from Arsenal Football Club, and also to Adrian with the news that he's had this week as well. So thoughts and everything going with you and your family as well, like, you know, and that's all we can say. So we're out of here, like, you know, come on Gunners, you know what you got to do. Come on Arsenal.
Go on, give it some lead. Pop in Lee Judges style. Come on.
We can do this, like, and we need to do it this week with what we've just been hearing. Come on, you Gunners. and we'll see you next week.